My intuition is telling me there'll be better days.
What's up, bad bitches of the world? Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome. My name is Natalie and this is my channel, Music2makeup. So today's video is going to be, I'm going to be talking about the eyeshadow brushes that are essential to create a bomb-ass makeup look. When I was first starting to get into makeup, I was so focused on the eyeshadows themselves, and I would watch YouTube tutorials and I would make notes. I would write down the eyeshadow, and I thought that if I used the exact same eyeshadows that I would be able to recreate the look. But as time went on, I came to the realization that it's not what eyeshadows you use, it's the brushes you use. And I just didn't realize how important the brushes you use are, and the types of brushes and how you use them. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to be talking about the types of brushes I feel are necessary to create like a very full dramatic eye look, and how to use them. I'm also going to be talking about which brushes are going to be better for someone with hooded eyes or someone with regular eyes. And then I'm also going to be telling you a few of my favorites of those types of brushes and where you can get them. And like every single brush I talk about is very affordable. These are not like high-end brushes like Marc Jacobs or Tom Ford. The majority of these are like Morphe or Wet n Wild, and they are just all very affordable but amazing quality brushes. So if you would like to see what you really need to create a good makeup look, then keep on watching. And if you do like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave. And let's get into some brushes. So I know when I was starting out with makeup, I wanted to be able to buy like a brush kit that had everything I needed. Okay, so here's how I feel about brush kits. You can get like a brush kit with a lot of brushes for very reasonable on Amazon or wherever, but the quality of the brushes are not always the best with those. But that's not what I really don't like about them. I guess what I don't like about them is they give you like a lot of brushes that you don't use, and they don't give you like the brushes that you really do need to create like an awesome eye look. Also, in my opinion, you need like a combination of synthetic and natural hair brushes, and those kits are either going to be all synthetic or all natural hair. Now, saying that, I do think that there are some eye kits out there that are good and inexpensive. I am going to list a couple sets down below that I found on Amazon that I think have a lot of the types of brushes I'm going to be talking about today. And you know, they're very affordable. And the brushes that I'm going to be talking about are also very affordable. They are just sold separately. So I understand that not everyone can, you know, afford to buy them separately, and you just may really want a kit. So if that's the case, then you can check some of those out. Otherwise, I definitely recommend just buying them individually, because you're going to save money, because you're going to have the brushes you need instead of a bunch of brushes you don't need and won't use. So, alright, I'm going to, disclaimer, you're about to see me with no makeup, and I'm going to talk about the brushes and how to use them, so let's get right into it. Yeah, I already have my eyes primed with some concealer. So the first brush that is essential is going to be a large, fluffy blending brush. I used to be like ride or die for, I think I have it down here, the Sigma E40, but then I started using, this is a Morphe E27. This is probably like my favorite large blending brush. It is almost the exact same shape as a Sigma E40, but the bristles on this are so much softer. Like, I'll go to use the Sigma after using this, and I'm like, oh, that's really rough. And the Sigma is like $20. This is $6 or $7. Another blending brush I've really been liking is this Wet n Wild eyeshadow blending brush. $1. $1. If you have a hooded eye, you're not going to want to use something this big. You're going to want to use a smaller blending brush. Like, they do have a smaller one in the Wet n Wild. Let me show you them next to each other. And also, if you have hooded eyes, this will be your best friend. This is a Morphe B80. This is like my favorite brush if I'm doing like trying to do a cut crease, or I just want to get that shadow very precise. And what I love about this that a lot of the other like tapered blending brushes don't have is it is fluffy enough to give like a light wash of color. Most of the like tapered blending brushes are very stiff and it puts the product on very heavily, but this is amazing the way it applies it. I might actually use it today, so I'll show you. Now, when I first started out in makeup, I was so intimidated by the size of these types of brushes, and I thought that I could just use like a smaller version and not get such a dramatic effect. But what I was actually doing was creating a more dramatic effect, because this would lay the product down so heavy, and then I would try to blend it out and it would just not blend because the bristles are stiff and they don't bend as much, whereas these, it puts like a nice light wash of color on. So that's why, you know, we start out with this for the transition color. And I just like dab it once or twice. And these eyeshadows are very pigmented, so you don't need much at all. And you can see how it just puts a very light wash of that color. And so I go back and forth, and then I will also go in circular motions. And depending on where you hold the brush, the further you hold it out, the less pressure you're going to apply. So if you're like intimidated by a large brush like this, like hold it at the very end when you do it until you're comfortable with using a brush this size. So normally I would go in with another large blending brush that is a little bit more tapered, such as this is a Morphe R38. You can see compared to the E27, it comes to a point, so it's more tapered. But because I want to show the B80, I'm going to use that. So this is great for hooded eyes or doing like a cut crease. So if you do have hooded eyes, you're going to want to make your crease higher than it actually is. I just start in the middle and go back and forth. And you can see how it lays it in the crease, but it doesn't put it down like so harshly like a lot of tapered blending brushes can do. And then go back in with the E27 or whatever large fluffy blending brush you're using. So as we go through the eyeshadows, the brushes are going to get smaller, and we're always going to go in with the previous brush and blend out whatever shadow we lay down. I want to show you what I mean by like why I like the B80. So I'm going to go in with this Eco Tools tapered brush so you can see the difference that the density makes. You see how it like it lays it down like so harsh and pigmented and like sloppy, and then like you can blend it out, but it's gonna take a lot more time to blend that out as opposed to if you would have used this one. Okay, so now we are going to need a dense brush, and we're going to need a dense blending brush. Probably my all-time favorite is this Sigma E25, but I also love the Morphe M433. Like, they're almost identical. But as you can see, it's like very wide up top, but then they're thin. And you need something with that same shape because, well, let's just put the shadow on. So I just lightly like dunk it in there, and then I like press it into the outer third of my eye. And just kind of pat it up and down. And then I'll go like back and forth to help blend it out. And I always just go in with a tiny bit first, and because I can always add on top, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to add a little bit more. And then when most of the product has been laid on the eye, I bring it into the crease. And then I turn it to the side and blend it that way. Okay, so the next brush that is essential for eyeshadow, in my opinion, is going to be a flat synthetic brush. Now, the size will depend on your eye shape and size, I guess what kind of look you're going for. I really have been liking this Wet n Wild one. I don't know if it's like a small concealer brush or like an eyeshadow, but it is like a flat synthetic bristle brush. And the reason I want synthetic is because like 99.9% of the time I do my eyeshadow, I use a glitter shadow for my lid. And a synthetic brush is going to put those down a lot better than a natural hair would. Another one I like, it's a little bigger, is this. This is actually a concealer brush, I think. A Morphe B10 or this Morphe 124. Now, if you have hooded eyes and you use a lot of matte shadows, or you want a really good brush that's going to lay on a matte shadow, this Sigma E55 is amazing. I'm going to go in with this Marc Jacobs Sequin Glam Glitter Eyeshadow in Flashlight. It's a really pretty, like, white pearl. I'm going to go in with that Wet n Wild brush. Okay, so the next brush that is essential for a bomb-ass makeup look is going to be some sort of pencil brush. So some of my favorites are, depending on like how precise I want it, this is one that's on the thicker side, and it's a Morphe. I will find out and put it in the description below. But another one is, this one is more precise, a Morphe E37. You can see how big of a difference there can be between two pencil brushes. I'm going to use the smaller one. Oh, actually, I'm going to use my Choice C. This is my Morphe E41. It's kind of like right in between them, and it's kind of fluffier, so it won't lay it down as harshly. You can see it in the middle there. And I'm going to start in that outer corner and like drag it inwards. Okay, so the next essential brush we're going to use in two different ways actually, and it's going to be a flat definer brush. This is a Morphe M432. So the first way we're going to use it is on the lower lash line. Now Now we're going to use that same brush and that same eyeshadow, and we're going to put it right on top of where we put the eyeliner. Okay, so there is one more brush, in my opinion, that is essential for an eye makeup look. This may not be essential for you, so if it's not, then just disregard this. But it is an inner eye highlight brush. So this is my by far favorite one. It is a Morphe E36. So I'm just going to put some, like this loose white highlight in my inner corner. It's just the perfect size and lays down like the perfect amount. So those are my essential brushes to create a bomb-ass eyeshadow look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did like it, and don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And if you ever have any recommendations for a video, let me know in the comments below. Alright guys, I will see you next time. Bye, I love you.